I said, make money, money, make money, money, money.
Moneymaker.
What's up, Keith?
You can shake the Moneymaker. Should we have Keith like shake for everybody? That seems realistic.
Shake that beard.
Shake that beard. There you go.
My wife loves it when I do it. She really doesn't, actually. It gets in the way of everything. So, I'll just leave that there.
Literally everything. Quinn, usually Quinn takes us that direction in the podcast early on, but I'm proud that it was you, Keith, and not Quinn that took us down that path.
Hey.
Just open up the doors and roll, man. Let the floodgates open.
So just a quick intro. We're here with Keith Moneymaker. That's why I screamed make money, money right out of the gate. So Keith Moneymaker with Sweet Dreams, mattresses, and more with 2 locations in Southern Pines and Sanford, North Carolina. Been in business 19 years. It's a family business. Mm-hmm. And we connected on Instagram for I think it was actually through Casey Williams. But you got to tell us this story, though. So did you discover the Dos Marcos podcast because your dog got hit?
I think it was it? No, I did not discover it because my dog got hit. It was really good timing of me sitting in a car for 2 hours, and I get an email from Casey Williams, and you're like, you got to listen to these podcasts. And I'm really like all over the place. I can't sit still very long. Like I'm super like high energy. So I'm sitting in a car. I have nowhere to go. I can't run around the parking lot in a 24-hour vet hospital. So my wife was with me. So me and her, needless to say, I'm the one with mattresses in my DNA. I kind of made that happen and listened to the whole podcast while we were waiting there.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you to Casey Williams from TSI for sending along the podcast to you and sharing that. And your dog, give us the status of your dog.
Oh, she's doing good. She's a Shih Tzu. She's 8 years old. I have 2 boxers and a Shih Tzu, and she made it about 4 miles away, got to the biggest traffic circle in our area, hit by a car, left for dead. Somebody saw her bobbing her head around, picked her up, took her to a vet hospital. Small town. I ended up knowing the person. Their phone number was programmed in my cell phone. Weird. And a night, and then she had to have this surgery. Like her pelvis was shattered. She's fine. A week later, anesthesia, I guess, causes issues with the tear ducts. She had to have an eye removed this past weekend. So she's good now, but she's no eye and in a cast. But, we do what we need to.
Oh, my God.
So you were able to save your dog's life, and you said that you're really like a high-energy guy. So being in the parking lot, if it wasn't for the Dos Marcos podcast, you probably would have been out of your truck, running around the parking lot, could very easily have gotten hit and killed yourself. So in a way, we saved your life.
You saved my life. I also cleaned my car out before I listened to it too. I have my 2 4-year-olds, there's kind of crumbs and, toys and everything, and backseat. And so I got really bored really quick. So I cleaned my car out, ran a few laps, listened to Dos Marcos. We were back home. Went and got mellow mushroom after though, because I had to. We don't have one around here. So.
Wait, what did you get?
Mellow mushroom. We used to have one, but it went out of business. It was here for 2 years in Southern Pines. And then all of a sudden, I guess under bad management, disappeared. So when we were up in Raleigh, I take every advantage to go get a pizza. So.
It's a pizza place. Okay. I was like, I didn't know what it was.
You don't know? Oh, you never heard of mellow mushroom? Oh,
no.
Dude, it's let's pretty much. I'm not going to say everybody works there are stoners, but it looks like a bunch of stoners, and it's kind of like a hippie-oriented pizza place. There's mushrooms and trippy things all over the atmosphere. It's really hippie and 70s look, and it's this huge stone-fired crust pizza. It's legit. It's legit if you've never been to one. So
the guys who started this pizza place were tripping on mushrooms and came up with this idea to create a restaurant, and therefore naming it the Magic Mushroom.
Magic Mushroom, $1 million idea. It worked.
Have you guys seen that documentary about Woodstock that was most recently on Netflix? I'm sure there are many. But there's this whole wide-ranging documentary. And one of my favorite parts of the whole story is they knew they were going to have a bunch of hippies showing up, peace, love, and all that goes along with it. And they thought, we can't have a police force come into this environment because it's going to create all kinds of tension and chaos. And so they found this super duper hippie guy that ran he was head of a commune, and they flew him out on a private jet, him and his harem of people, and his name was Wavy Gravy. And he said, we're not the police force, we're the please force. And he walked around asking people nicely to do things.
The please.
I watched the one on that island that went to crap. That island, they tried to do that big, not a Bonnaroo, but the big fire island. I don't know what it was
Oh
called.
yeah,
It's on Netflix.
that's
The actual party was setting it up, and then it flopped. I don't know what it was called. Fire something.
Yeah,
that was
actually,
such
some
a
of the
good one.
merchandise that was part of the Fire Festival, FYRE, I found it online recently through like an email that I get, and they were basically selling that merch for like $500 and trying to donate some of the proceeds back to the people that got ripped off and never were able to be a part of it. So yeah.
So, Kinsley, can you see the store behind you?
Guys got away with it.
Oh, hold on. Keith's getting adjusted here. Where are you at,
There
Quinn?
we go.
Tell
I
us
got you.
if you're watching
While
on
he's
video.
getting adjusted,
Quinn's in a different spot.
I just wanted to show you.
Is my
I'm at
beard?
Love's. What's that?
Can you hear me, or am I muffled through my beard? It's kind of in the way. There we go. All right, good.
There you go. That's much better now.
All right, cool.
So I'm at Love's Furniture, you guys. Art Van closed, as we all know, and the reopening is Love's. So that's where I'm at. If you can see all the stuff.
I read about that, man. That was quite a big deal. So,
Tell you what, these guys are doing a great job. They're putting these stores together. We've been in 5 or 6 in Detroit, in Ann Arbor in the last couple of days. And anyway, they're trying to make it happen and reopening it at a weird time after the virus. But anyway, so that's where I'm at. So Keith, you are killing it too. I loved hearing part of your story from Kinsley, but sounds to me like you got North Carolina under control out there.
I'm trying to one mattress at a time. That's all it takes, you know. So it keeps me busy. Whether the resale side or the charity side, they both kind of go hand in hand. You know, one kind of piggybacks off the other. You know, so.
Well, tell us your story. Like, give us kind of the overview of your business, and then let's get into the charity, because this is a piece that's really become part of your mission, and it all fed out of Hurricane Matthew back in 2016. But let's start with your kind of family side of your story, and tell us what you're up to and about your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Family business. My parents were always kind of worked for themselves. They were in the antique used furniture for the longest time. That's how they made a living. In 2002, their antique store took 10,000 square feet, was getting worked on the roof, and it caught fire. The roof fell in. The walls had to be knocked down after that. So everything was crushed back in 2002. So after that, my dad had started selling like lower end bedding towards the very end of that and was dedicated to kind of find something else for himself. So when he finally kind of like inspected and looked at the town, there was not really any mattress stores around. There was like a closeout place on a highway out here around town, and there was another small store, but there was really nothing. So he opened a small store with just Simmons and Sealy, and at that point, Sealy only lasted a couple months. We just stuck to Simmons only. It was about a 15-bed store. I went there after school. I did deliveries. I hung out in the back, played video games. I mean, that's just kind of what I did. I always went to my parents' work after school. I never was really home once in a while, but it was always at work after school. So I'd help them on deliveries or wherever it was. So I get people to this day like, oh yeah, I remember when you and your dad delivered a bed to me like 15 years ago or something like that. So it's pretty cool to do that. About 6-7 years down the road, there was another building down that was being a placeholder while it was getting renovated. So they let us have the lease really well, and it was a little bigger location. It was about 30 beds we had in there, and it was still Simmons only. And we were kind of on the opposite side of town. And when the economy kind of went to crap in 2008, our lease was ending, so we had to find a new space. My dad put it on the line for a 7,000 square foot showroom on the entrance to Walmart, off 2 of our main highways right here in town. And yeah, just rolled with it, and we were blessed and kind of kept going. And shortly after that, I graduated from UNC Pembroke, which is 40 minutes away. So during that time, I was already driving back and forth to work here at night, during the day, kind of just juggling a 3-day a week school schedule, along with coming back and helping my dad and just selling beds or doing deliveries, mainly whatever I really needed to do. I show up in gym shorts and sell beds and things like that. I mean, I took it seriously, but not really serious. And then finally in 2011 is when I graduated. It's kind of like, hey, it's yours. Is this what you want to do? Like, so I did, and that's what I want to do. I found a lot of passion in what I was doing. It took me a couple years to get really, really serious and try to kind of figure things out and figure out how everything works. And then hiring employees, just kind of all the rounds of small business, trying to figure out how things work out and starting really hiring a good staff. My current manager, Jennifer, has been with me. Her and my delivery supervisor, Corey, have been with me the longest. And they've really stayed on board and really have helped me through a lot of the hard times where we've been low on staff, business has been bad, flexible schedules, just really invested and dedicated to the business. I'm super blessed to have. I have a full team, but them two have been here the longest. And my parents still stay involved whenever I need them to do anything like that, whether it's just helping out with the kids or it's coming by my dad, need my dad to make a delivery or fix a leak in the roof or something like that. So cool little like backstory. The building we're in, remember when Sleepy's was buying up property in front of mat firms? They were trying to they tried to go down our way and buy out from under us, and then you know what happens at the end of that, they kick you out after the lease. Well, our landlord had told us for years he was going to sell us the property whenever we were ready, and he turned down everybody, and he kept his word. Honorable man until we were actually ready to buy the property. And that's kind of his retirement. So I pay him rent in the building that I'm currently in now. So very blessed to have somebody like that higher up kind of looking out for us. And in 2015, met my wife, Darla. She was in the military. She got out of the military to stay here because I wasn't going anywhere. I'm pretty stuck here. I'm a local boy, and I'm not moving anywhere. So we got married in 2015, and then in 2016 is when I saw a Facebook video of one of my friends about 40 minutes east of me, and I went to Pembroke. So Pembroke, Laurinburg, Robeson County, like all those are kind of intertwined. It is a lot of lower income neighborhoods down there, but the college really is the center point of the area. And obviously it was already close to me, but he posted a Facebook video of him driving around 6 months after this hurricane went through. And on Facebook, you see this, it gives me the chills just thinking about it. And so I saw him driving around, and in front of this is 6 months after it happened. People were still living in schools, churches, gymnasiums, everything. Nobody knew this was going on here in Moore County. Here we are. This is a county and a half southeast of us. And I saw him driving around, posting the video, and in front of every single house was a stack of furniture. Everything everybody owned in every house was piled up by the road. It was trash, including a mattress on top. So it just kind of like sprung. Like, oh my! I was like, hey, we get beds all the time. I deliver, and we get nice beds. We're in a nicer area. We get nice beds we pick up. I didn't plan on sanitizing them and everything, and I just was like, these beds are good. I've been doing this long enough. I know what to look for. I know what's clean. I know what's not. And I just started collecting beds and just started making Facebook posts. And we took around. Before I even made it like an organization, I took around 300 beds down there to families. I eventually got connected to FEMA, so I was able to take a bunch at a time. But then really it just came from a list of people that would message me on Facebook. That correlated into Dreams for All Foundation, which the book I showed you, Lead Yourself First, my buddy Mike Irwin, he kind of helped me get that off the ground. I was kind of throwing ideas by him. And obviously, my wife and I, Darla, were kind of watching that video at the same time. She's the one who kind of like sparks like, Keith, like you could probably help, like do something about it. And so it was October of 2016. I think, July 2017, I had started just making it a thing on Facebook, Dreams for All Foundation. Anybody could just request a bed if they needed it. And we applied for our tax exempt status. The IRS got the reply back in 3 weeks, which is from the feds is huge. So we were officially a 501c3 in July of 2017. And then I just kind of took it and rolled with it. And honestly, I went with a pen and pad, and people messaged me on Facebook, and I just kept up with it the best I could. People would request a bed. I've worked with underfunded fire departments that don't have a big budget. I know this because they've came in to buy beds before, and they tell me their budget for like 6 or 8 beds, and I'm like, these guys have to get up on a moment's notice. So I see more than just like kids without beds. I kind of focus everything. And these guys and people I've experienced on a daily basis coming into my retail store of like whether they can afford a bed or not. So being the fire station, first example, there's a few around here. Oh, we have a $1,500 budget for like 8 beds. And I'm like, you can't get 8 beds for $1,500. So I was working with Spring Air at the time, and they were actually donating new beds to me. And I was taking care of delivery and getting them to the fire department. And then 2017, so then, and then just things started to catch. Like people started like tagging me in Facebook posts. There'd be a local family tagged in our Moore County garage sale site. Family in need, just lost everything in a house fire with a bed. Like, yes, I'd love to. Eventually we'd have a bed. Eventually it started to be a big list, and I couldn't quite keep up. Things kind of got like dicey. I kind of did deliveries as I could do deliveries. I really didn't have a plan. I just was kind of doing it as I went, like helping people as I went. I did homeless shelters locally. There's a local domestic abuse home I worked with. There's all kinds of different scenarios and folks that I've helped. People that walked in and they have kids and they come in and their budget for a queen set's $300. I'd be like, hey, like I've got, and I used to kind of just do this anyway. It was like, I got some really nice beds at the warehouse. They're used, but like this bed for $200 isn't going to last you. Would you want it? And they'd kind of like look at me really weird. It's like, why do you want to like give us a bed? Like we're here to like, buy one. But I know for a fact, like that mattress is not going to last very long. And they have other things to worry about. They've got kids go to school. They got clothes to put on the back. They got food and stuff like that. So it just became more of a priority to me, like something this base of a need, not sleeping on the floor. And it's kind of like my tagline, because no one deserves to sleep on the floor. It's kind of been my tagline. If you can't afford a bed, I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna help you out where I can. And that's kind of been the backbone of the business that I'm super passionate about. And it always kind of, when I get to go on deliveries and stuff, I don't get to do them as much as I'd like to. It always, really gets the deals and stuff going, because these I can give you a million examples. One of my best ones was December of 2018. I made a post. We've been getting furniture on occasion from people, and I had been accumulating furniture. I haven't really been getting rid of it, giving it away, but people were giving me stuff all the time. And I made a post. I was like, if you know a local family that's trying to get back on their feet or just need a little help, let me know. I want to furnish all their bedrooms, so just give them mattresses. Well, my back plan was to furnish someone's home. So a young lady reached out, told me her story. And there's a video on my Facebook. You might have seen it. I'll send it to you if not. Anyway, so we showed up. It was like a week or 2 weeks before Christmas. So I had a local tree company donate a Christmas tree, and she just was expecting mattresses, and we showed up and we furnished her whole house. I got it all on video. Super emotional, super just amazing, and just like, it's like, I mean, it's great to sell a $10,000 bed. I mean, don't get me wrong, but like the true feels and like the invested in being part and helping somebody like that, it just goes above and beyond the biggest mattress sale ever made.
I saw that video, Keith, and it was really powerful and really emotional. If you're just hopping in, we're talking with Keith Moneymaker, Sweet Dreams Mattress and More in North Carolina, and he's talking about the Dreams for All Foundation and the impact that you guys are making in the community. Talk about, Keith, your experiences with your business as a result of telling your story and pursuing this passion. Do you hear from people that connect with this in a way that makes them want to do business with you?
Tenfold. It has been absolutely amazing to give back in the community, of people supporting our business and coming in, because the local newspaper called The Pilot has done a significant amount of coverage on what I've been doing, because there's bad news. You can find bad news if you close your eyes. So they were always looking for good news. There's a few things that made it to their desk that they did a few articles on, and a few random articles they did, just like, it just took the business to a different level. And I wasn't expecting that, but that's how it correlates. It's going to correlate. If your mind and heart is in the right place and you're not doing it for profit or for gain, your business is going to thrive, and it has. It's done really well. We've been very blessed. We have a very unique dynamic on that, and people come in, and I always make my staff ask, how'd you find out about us? We know what you do in the community, and if they don't, I make sure they know before they leave, because if you're going to buy a bed somewhere in town, why don't you invest in somebody that's going to get back to where you're living? So I use it as part of my sales tools to make sure my staff knows and that they know we're giving back to the community. Like, you need to give people a reason to support our company. Whether, it's for profit, but that profit is what I'm turning around and spending a lot of Sweet Dreams resources. I'm paying employees from Sweet Dreams. I'm using a lot of resources. I'm using my trucks, my gas, my insurance. I'm using all that stuff to give beds out for free for folks that need them, and for people not to sleep on the floor. I mean, just the other day, a couple walked in here. It's funny. They went to Mattress Firm first, and they saw Mattress Firm gave beds to foster kids or something, and they were, and I can directly correlate to that, because we've actually adopted our twin boys from South Korea. So that's kind of really close to my heart. So when they came in and told me that, they're like, "Yeah, are you the mattress store that kind of like helps people with beds?" We went to Mattress Firm, but they really didn't know. They sent us up here. and the little girl, this is like an older set of kids, it was like 4 and 9 years old. She was like laying on a bed, and it was just the right thing to do. So I just gave them the mattress and everything she was looking at, and like furnished the bedroom for her. It's just like what I do. I just love doing that, and I love and the more support I get from the community, you know, we were hosting our 3rd annual fundraiser this October. The more I can invest more time in that, the more time I can get away from Sweet Dreams, the more time I can spend growing Dreams for All and helping more folks that need it.
Keith, let me ask you a question. You talked about, Kinsley asked a good question in terms of what was the impact or has the impact been on the people in your community? And you're saying they reacted really well to that. But what has the impact been to you personally? And actually the people on your team to be so engaged in finding people to help. And then really, I mean, you're not doing it to promote your business. You're doing it because it's part of your purpose and what you want to accomplish with your life. What has it done for you personally?
It's given, I mean, outside of being a father and a husband, it's given me a purpose outside of just going to work and making $1. I've always had that, like, I've always just like been friends with the nerdy kid in school or the one that somebody made fun of. It's just kind of been my knack. And having something like a mattress is just such a vital piece of like somebody with a home, somebody that sleeps on the streets or somebody that's never had a bed to sleep in. It's such a vital piece outside of all your other furniture, such a vital piece it's such a vital piece to give somebody and such a powerful piece. And I had the resources to do it. I just could like, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. I'm getting all these nice beds. It's just like, I can't explain the feeling. It's to have
yeah, but when you go through it, isn't it just such a basic need? Like when there's a flood or anything, like a bed is like an essential need. It's like food, gotta have it, water, clothing, and you gotta have the bed. And I'm sure you run into that all the time. So it's like a really important part of these people's lives. I'm sure you're seeing that every time you run into these situations.
And since 2016, we've delivered between 1,500 and 2,000 mattress sets to local and surrounding counties, to families. I mean, and people that come in to buy a new bed, you know, I'm a very perspective-aware person. Like, it's one of my stronger traits as far as perspective and also social awareness. But like, people have no idea. People come in, it's like, oh, there's people sleeping on the floor here. I'm like, I got a running list for 50 to 70 families at any given time. I do. We've done really well catching up during COVID here lately. I've got kind of a new system down, but like, it's such a basic need. People don't even know, like, there's people sleeping on the floor. And then people will tell me their old mattress they want to remove. Oh, nobody will sleep on this. And I get there, and it's like a 8-year-old Stearns & Foster. They put a waterproof cover on. It's in immaculate shape. Like, I mean, I get Stearns, Tempers. I get all kinds of stuff, adjustable bases. People just call me to donate beds. They don't even come buy a bed sometimes. I get bed in the boxes once in a while because I'm a 501c3. So, you know, with bed in the boxes, they have to give it to a charity to get their money back. Man, what I would give to have a partnership of just like one of those companies that would be able to just assist me when I have like larger needs or larger requests. Because there's a company north of me about an hour that I think is sponsored by Lisa, and Lisa donates the mattresses. They furnish homes, but it's a huge organization. I'm more focused on just mattresses. But there's all kinds of like resources and stuff. But people, I mean, the clue is not even there. But I've made it. It is very aware. Anything in my county or surrounding counties that gets tagged, whether it's buying a mattress or a family that needs help, my name is tagged in it. I don't have any notifications turned on my phone because it does take a toll. Where I give a lot somewhere else does take away. So I have to be very careful how I balance my time between family, work, charity, and self.
Well, and clearly you've been so busy and doing good work, serving people that actually need to buy mattresses, serving people who need mattresses, and they're under circumstances where they're not able to buy one. You've been so busy doing all this that you haven't even had time to shave.
I know, I forgot. 3 years ago too.
Okay, you gotta. It gets in the way of a lot of stuff, you know.
I mean, this is a wild, untamed facial feature. Like, do you have a name for it?
I don't know. Maybe we can come up with one though. I haven't got a name for it. I haven't found the right name for it.
Dude, are you a ZZ Top fan?
Do what?
Are you a ZZ Top fan?
I mean, yeah, not really. I don't listen to him. I mean, I like
Okay,
it
we're
when
gonna
it
name
comes
it
on the
right here.
radio.
Since we are Dos Marcos and we have a Spanish theme, and you brought up ZZ Top, your beard is named Lagrange.
Lagrange.
We named it
I'm
right
cool with
here,
it.
Lagrange.
Forevermore.
Prepare for
And
the
if you don't know
tag.
what that is,
Prepare for the.
just go on YouTube, type in LA, and the second word is Grange, Lagrange, and it's an amazing song. I used to be a classic rock DJ. That's a perfect name for that sweet flowing mane coming out of your head.
Oh, I love it. And then when you messaged me the first time and you described it like that, the man mane or whatever you said first, oh, he knows how to get on my good side. I'm like, oh, I love it. Oh, the Grange. I'm going to be tagging it all the time now. That's my new hashtag.
Let me tell you, man, leave it to Kinsley to name another man's beard. So you can go home tonight and say to your wife, okay, honey, give it a tug. It's Lagrange. Give Lagrange a tug.
I told her if I cut it off, but she loves a beard. It just I don't tame it. I don't trim it. I'm like just letting it go. I'm gonna just let it go. She'd be okay if she's much prefer me to trim it down, but like I feel if I cut anything off, it's like I lost a limb. It literally is a part of me. I can't get rid of it. I can't trim it.
You're like Samson with the hair. Hey, Keith, you brought up a book. I just want to reference that because I think so. The foreword is by Jim Collins, and it's Lead Yourself First. So you brought it up, and a friend of yours wrote it. Can you just tell us what it inspired you? Because it talks about business and leadership through solitude. So can you help us understand what about that book inspires you in how in your everyday business?
Well, so the gentleman who wrote the book, Mike Irwin, I think the book does inspire me, but it's more him as somebody I was able to of his caliber to get on the same page with and become friends with and have lunch or breakfast with once a month. Like we text on the regular. Like he started Team RWB, and I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's enriching veterans' lives after they get out of the military, keeping veterans active for veteran suicide, PTSD. And I think he's got 150,000 members in the U.S. He has partners like Apple, Google. He does leadership seminars on top of that. He's done a lot of nonprofits. He's got a lot of work in the charity. And he's kind of, me and him really click. We have the same energy. Like the room is full. Us two are in the, like me and him kind of just, we know we interrupt each other. We know we talk over each other, but we know what each other are saying. We just click. And he more or less inspires me. And I don't do enough of it. Obviously, the solitude, obviously, portion is what that book is about. But it really just comes down to, everybody says, take a break or go to yoga or have meditation, but literally like make it so your time with this Marcos podcast, your hour you set aside every Tuesday, every day from 12 to 2 or 1 to 3 or 1 to 1:30, whatever it is, that time is on your calendar for you, not for anybody else. Whether you take a walk outside, you get rid of the noise. We're so, and I'm preaching just what Mike's saying. We're so involved with our phones. We're so available that just giving somebody your attention, and I'm guilty of this all the time. I'm on my phone too much with my kids. I'm on my phone too much with my wife. And even with having all the notifications turned off, but it's just, I know that. So being aware of it is the biggest part of it, is being aware that technology is great, but it also like, use it for good, but breaking away and not having all the noise of emails, texts, phone messages, Facebook messages, Instagram, Twitter, news, weather, everything that you get bombarded with on a daily basis, our brains are in overload. So it's just really it uses a lot of examples of past leaders, Martin Luther King, Dwight Eisenhower, people that use solitude and kind of breaking away and just going in silence and really breaking down a problem. And trying to figure out a solution to a huge problem, or just giving yourself the space away, whether there's a problem or not, you have to solve.
I want to show you something. And if you're watching,
really cool.
Obviously you can see it, but if you're not watching, I'll describe it. So this is my phone home screen.
Oh.
Okay. And what I did about 2 years ago is I removed everything from my home screen and only have notifications turned on for text messages. And some people think I'm crazy, but it's amazing. So all your like your apps are down here in this folder and you could scroll over. But what it does is it causes you to be intentional. So if you need something, you flip down and you search for it. And it kept me from being distracted by things that I wasn't going to be intentional with. And I think it really speaks to kind of what you're saying, Keith. Like I had to get rid of the noise and make sure that whatever I was doing, I was in the driver's seat for. And I think so often we just get, hooked into something because there's a notification or because it's a shiny object. But having that space and being intentional and putting yourself in the driver's seat and saying, what do I want to accomplish today? I used to tell my team, like when I was responsible for creative services at Leggett, I would have some of the team members and they would say, did you see my email? And it would be like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. And I would say sometimes, I haven't checked email yet today, but I'll for sure get to it. They're like, what do you mean you haven't checked your email today? I'm like, well, I woke up today and there were things that were my priorities. And if I check email, they become everybody else's priorities and they pull me away from what I want to accomplish. So I love this concept of leading yourself first, being intentional, and it forces you to prioritize. And then over time, you're going to see traction and momentum around the things that you want to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's, yeah, you're already living it. I'm gonna do that on my phone today. Dude, I didn't even think, I mean, I organized my apps in sections, but to have everything at the bottom and that blue screen, like, and have nothing showing, it's beautiful. That was like artwork you just showed me. That was amazing. I am blown away.
Keith, don't get too crazy because you saw his home screen. You guys want to see my home screen?
I don't want to see it.
It's right there.
I missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
And if you're listening on the podcast, Quinn's home screen is now Keith Moneymaker as his home screen.
On LaGrange.
LaGrange
LaGrange.
in the foreground.
It doesn't even fit on the camera.
Yeah, that's right. So I made Keith my home screen. I just had to like one up and say that's all that was about. But hey, Keith, I just want you to know, man, you inspire me. I'm grateful to hear your story. I hope everyone listening to this connects to you in some way. I love your heart, man. Love how you approach your business with purpose. I love what you do to shine your bright, massive light into your town, to inspire people and to really make a difference where you are. And I love that, man. And you've given me something great today. So thank you for that.
It means a lot. I really appreciate that. I'm glad. Thank you.
And I know I speak for Quincy too. We love guys.
That's awesome. I'm really appreciative. I'm super honored to do that. I mean, this is kind of like, I've talked on the phone and did like a random interview one time about the charity, but like to be on a pod. He's like, oh, you want to be on a podcast? I'm like, yeah, duh. I was like, I've been bragging about it all week. I'm like, I want to be on a podcast tomorrow. Keep telling everybody about it. I'm like, save this in my data bank. Like, man, I'm gonna be sharing this all the time. Like, and I'm just super thankful for y'all to kind of share my story and kind of get my word out there. You know, whether it inspires somebody to do the same thing in their own town, like I think this can be multiplied in the right way, in the right manner. But it takes somebody that's vested in their community to do it. They can't just pick up a franchise and do it. It takes somebody that's genuinely wants to be part of their community and genuinely wants to give back outside of profit dollars. Yeah, I can show you the bottom line and how it changes business without a doubt. Our business has done well with it, but I've been doing this for and you don't always see something else cool I'll add. Our website, I've been taking us forever to do it, but our website is sweetdreamsnc.com. The cool part about our website, it's kind of like now our store. So you can not only go, I'm working out the kinks in the e-commerce part, but if somebody wants to go and request a mattress and they need one, everybody is sourced right there. They fill out a form, give us a little tidbit story, and they go on our list. If they want to donate a mattress, they fill out a form, submit a picture, make sure it's not stained, they donate a list. And if somebody just were to just want to help out our charity or donate, it's all there. It's all there. Yeah, we've done, and that's kind of like what I've been aiming towards, because that used to take up a lot of time, and now we've kind of streamlined it and bottlenecked it to one resource. And hopefully with COVID, it won't affect our upcoming fundraiser we're doing on October 8th. We're going to set up like a socially distanced / online auction / outdoor parking lot tailgating picnic fundraiser. So
love it.
Pretty cool. So.
Keith, tell us how people can get connected to you. I know that we actually met over Instagram, which was really cool. Yeah. Tell people your handle. Maybe that's a good way to get in touch with you if they want to learn more.
Yeah, absolutely. My handle is Keith www.mattress.therapist. Come see me for your mattress. I'll solve all your problems. As far as families out there that are listening local and far and just interested in just like learning the concept, I'd love to share it more. I don't charge for my time. I want to know that I'm helping people. So somebody out there that's interested in doing what I'm doing, love to share the hits and pointers. Our website though is how kind of where everything's kind of sourced through. So sweetdreamsnc.com, and our charity, everything about our charity and everything is on there. I am very active on Facebook. So Dreams for All Foundation is the charity name, and then Sweet Dreams Mattresses and More is my Facebook. So I cover my personal, business, and charity on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm across all boards. And Keith Moneymaker is my last name. I have to show my license sometimes. People don't believe me, but you'll find me on Facebook, Keith Moneymaker.
Hey, Keith, whenever you start an Instagram page for LaGrange, you got to let us know. We're going to follow LaGrange's Instagram story.
Oh, that would be cool. It's like a pet, right?
The adventures
it's like
of
people
LaGrange.
start Instagrams for their pet.
Things that LaGrange would say, like, stop eating cottage cheese because it gets in my stuff. I can't have it.
You guys have the best ideas. Oh, man, I'm going to have to do that. I have to add another Instagram account now for this. So, also a little tidbit, if I can add, too. So something I've done recently is we have our own delivery team. Obviously, the dream team is kind of what I correlate that to. So I've recently invested in getting all my guys matched up, everything down to Nike Kyrie shoes. My logo is gold and black. So, and the shoes are black with gold stars on them from some Nike shoes. But all my guys, the most important part of the retail side, if anybody was to kind of know my perspective on that, it's most important down to the very final mile. So being vested in your delivery team just as much as your sales team and your management is key, because the people that are dropping and delivering that product are the last ones your people are going to see. So investing your delivery guys are not just delivery guys; they're just as important as everything else going on in the business.
I couldn't agree more. I remember going through Phoenix at one point, and I was listening to the radio, and there was a commercial that came on for 1-800-GOT-JUNK, and it was a national spot. And in the spot, it said, "Our people wear uniforms, so we're here. The right people have arrived." And that was a signal. And I thought, they have tested that spot all over the country. They've pre-tested it before they put the advertising dollars behind it and pushed it out into the universe. So I totally connect with that. And I love that you've got the black and gold going on, man. So they know the Moneymaker crew is on the scene. Oh, hold on. Here we go. He's pulling them up. There we go. I love it. I've got the shoes on right now.
Also, that's it. I'm signing up with Podium this week, by the way. When COVID started, I was trying to find ways of just texting customers. Hello? You there?
You're good.
Okay. Yeah. I was texting customers because of both my store's phones. Everybody was laid off. All the numbers were going to my cell phone. So people would ask me questions or box spring or a cheap mattress or whatever it was, and I would text them back the information. And I'm like, man, I just wish there was an easier way to do this. Always texting people to remind them about Google reviews. And then you guys kept dropping Podium. So I had a phone call with them yesterday, and I'm signing up this week for both my stores all the way in. I am all the way in. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful thing.
Podium will
Any
not
small dealer.
What's that?
I said Podium will not let you down, Keith.
Well, and the thing that's cool is, right, they hooked us up, so Dos Marcos listeners, and we only bring things into our little world that we think are super cool and making an impact. That's why we're talking to you. But podium.com/dos, DOS, and then you get 10% off. So if you mention Dos Marcos, you get your 10% off. So I'm glad that's good for you. Quinn, are you trying to get out of here, Quinn? What's up, dude?
No, well, hey man, I got Loves behind me. We've got more stores to hit, so I got to get rolling. But again, Keith, you are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. Let us know how LaGrange does later on, and we'll follow LaGrange. And tell us, if you don't mind, send us a note how your wife likes the new name for the beard. I'd like to.
I will. I'm going to tell her right now.
Yeah, you can just tell her you're welcome from Dos Marcos. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I will. Absolutely.
Thanks again for shining the light. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all so much for hearing me out. I appreciate it, Quinn. Have fun at Loves.